Hello, good morning and ahoy there. What time are we now? 20 to 7 on a Sunday morning. I'm here at Nehru Park in Delhi. It's a park not far from where I live actually, and it's a real favourite park of mine. It's a massive hub for the local fitness community that I'm not in, and because I don't really do communities very well. But it used to be, apparently, a big dumping ground, but it's a huge park, and apparently it was just basically used as a dump. And the government decided we can't have this, so they've turned it into the most beautiful, beautiful park, landscaped it, and they've put this red sort of springy, spongy running track in it, or around it. It's massive. And every day, the first time I saw it, I thought there was some kind of running event going on, like a park run or something like that, and it's not. I spoke to the guy that was driving the car and I said, "What's this?" And he said, Nehru Park. So it's like that every day from 5 a.m. And I come past it every day, and it's true. There's something going on here all the time. Well, fitness. I'll show you it in a minute. It's like there's running, there's yoga, there's groups that come here and do maybe Tai Chi. I don't know. I've never asked them. I don't tend to speak to anyone here. It's a bit unique here in that no one speaks to you. They're in groups or they're doing something. I think that's why I quite like it here, is there's a real sort of a vibe of solitude here, but there's a creative vibe to it as well. If you go anywhere where someone's doing something or people are doing something as a collective and it's something good, there's a really nice vibration that comes off of that. And I find it's quite, I don't know if addictive is the right word, but it hits you when you come here. You walk around here and it's like, okay, yeah, good things are happening here. People are looking after themselves. And I mean, there's also, I'll show you this here, I'll go up to it in a second, just through there's like a whole group of people doing probably some yoga and stretching and all kinds of things. And right in the middle of it is a statue of Lenin. And I asked someone at work about it. I said, "Why have you got a statue of Lenin in the local park? Is he like, did he live around here or work around here?" And he said, "No, we just really like him." And apparently I've asked a few people and they've all said, yeah, we just like Lenin. And it's a nice statue as well. It's him sort of casually sauntering through the park. I like it. But it's just a nice place to be. I don't run, ever. I made the mistake a few years ago of this is why I walk instead of run. I made the mistake of taking it up, because when I first stopped drinking I thought, okay, running, that's the thing. I'll get into running. That's what everyone does. It's cheap. All you need is a decent pair of trainers. And I lived right by the sea, literally on the seafront. It's beautiful. And I thought, oh great, there's a sea wall. I'll run down there. And I made the mistake of telling someone at work what I was doing. And I said, I've took up running. And he was like, this guy had never mentioned running before. And like an idiot, I listened to him. And every time you tell someone you've taken up a hobby, they'll be like, oh, no, a bit about that. There's always some bloke who knows a bit about it. And I listened to them. And he said, here's a bit of a tip for you, Dan. He actually didn't say, he went, oh, here's a bit of a tip for you, Dan. If you're running and you think you can go slower, go slower. And I said, is that a fact? He said, it's much better for you. He's Scottish fella. He said, go slower. He said, if you think you can run slower, go slower. So I was like, oh, why is that then? He says, it's just much better. It's the military way of doing it. It's what we do. So I was like, okay, I'll do that. So I started running, and I was thinking I'll do that couch to 5k. And I did the 5k, but I did it so weirdly. Like anyone who knew me that saw me running would say, you run weird, don't you? You've got a really weird run. And I was like, oh no, this guy at work told me. So what I was basically doing was just running like this, just like on the balls of my feet, just shuffle, 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 for 5k on a concrete path. I was doing this quite a few times, and I royally screwed my knee up, like so badly. And it turned out it was because of the way I was running. So now I can't run, and I'm not going to lie, I don't miss it. I don't feel like, oh, I should be running. I prefer walking anyway. I think we're designed to walk. But yeah, that's why I don't do it. But not because I've got a funny run, because my knee hurts. Apparently Roger Moore, who played James Bond, had a funny run. When he was playing James Bond, the director said to him, now Roger, we'd like you to run from there to there. And Roger Moore said, I don't run. And they said, oh, why is that, Roger? And he said, I'll show you. And apparently this is true. Apparently he ran from one place to another, and the director agreed and said, yeah, that's a ridiculous run. I wonder how he ran. I wonder if he had like his arms flailing to the side. I don't know, but he ran in such a peculiar way that they told him, yeah, okay, as of now, James Bond doesn't run. And so apparently, I've not seen many Bond films, but apparently if you watch them, James Bond doesn't run anywhere. Not like that Craig fella. Miserable he may be, but he does run. I got tickets a few years ago to go and see Roger Moore. Going off a tangent here. I got a ticket to see a one-man show with Roger Moore in Guildford, and I asked everyone if they'd come with me, and everyone said no. So I had to go on my own. And more fool them, because it was brilliant. It was Roger Moore talking all about his career. But that was good. He had like a screen behind him, and he showed clips from the Bond films, obviously, and The Saint and things like that. And he told anecdotes about people who'd worked, and he famously won't say anything horrible about anyone. He says, if I have nothing nice to say, I say nothing at all. And he stuck to that. He wouldn't slag off anyone. But it was worth going for the audience, because it was hard to tell if the audience were there because they were Roger Moore fans or Alan Partridge fans. Because I'm certain they came dressed as Alan Partridge. Like, it was no to goes like guys my age and younger, dressed as Roger Moore, but in the Alan Partridge way. So they had like a blue blazer, a pair of like beige slacks, a coat of arms on the blazer, the full bit. Very, very much like Roger Moore stroke Alan Partridge. And what made me think they were Alan Partridge fans was, at the end there was a Q&A, which Sir Roger Moore, I think, abandoned, because the questions were so bizarre, and a lot of them were standing up and saying things like, Sir Roger, in a hypothetical punch-up between you and Sean Connery, who would win? And I was thinking, these are Alan Partridge questions. If you're not a Partridge fan, then sorry. But yeah, they kept doing it, but some of the questions were brilliant. One guy said, I don't know why I'm going on about Roger Moore so much, but one guy said, oh, hello, Rog. And Sir Roger didn't like that. He said, sorry? He said, oh, sorry, Sir Rog. He said, when you played The Saint, you drove around in a white Volvo. And he's like, that's right, I famously drove a white Volvo, yes. And he says, when you finished filming it, did you sell that to a bloke in Swansea? And Roger Moore said, I have never bought nor sold a used vehicle. And the bloke said, that's a shame, because my uncle, who lives in Swansea, always told me that he drove your car. And he didn't like it at all. And I don't think that guy was joking. I think he was serious. He did think his uncle had the Saints car. But they were all like that. It was question after question. And none of them were calling him Sir Roger. They were all calling him Rog or Sir Rog. Or some of them James Bond, actually. Some of them had completely lost the plot with it and decided that even though he's not played James Bond for the best part of 30 odd years, he was still James Bond today. And that's fair enough, isn't it? I mean, I saw Tom Baker walking up the road once and I didn't think there goes Tom Baker. I thought it's Doctor Who. So, I suppose it's the curse of being an actor, isn't it? You're forever that person. But what can you do? What can you do? I guess you take the money, you take the risks of that. I wouldn't know. But yeah, as I say, this is back on track again. This is a beautiful park, full of runners that I don't do, but I like being around that vibe, which when I drank, I really didn't. Like, really didn't. If I was driving along and I saw a jogger, I used to think, why don't you sod off? And I hated them. And I'd think of some reason to either attribute my own misery onto them. So I'd look at them and go, you never see a happy jogger, do you? And I always used to do that. I was going to look at them, they always look miserable. Well, of course they bloody do. They're huffing and a puffing. But it's jealousy, wasn't it? I was looking at it now because they're doing something I couldn't do. And deep down inside, I felt miserable about myself. And I felt like, spent another night wasting all my time and money with a load of people that don't give a toss about me in an environment I shouldn't be in, that's doing me no good, my health no good, my wallet no good. And now I'm driving along, probably slightly hungover, and I see someone who's, up with the birds, doing themselves some good. And deep down inside there's a resentment to that, and you feel like I should be doing that. And that little bitterness inside pangs, and you feel like, yeah, screw you. A bit like at school when, when kids pick on the school SWAT It's because deep inside they know they should have done their homework and they should have been studying a bit better, and that person's probably potentially going places they're not. And so they do a bit of that. But weirdly, once I stopped drinking and took ownership of mornings, which is what I very much do now, I really like it. I really like seeing it. It's, as I say, I've got no intention of joining in, no intention of speaking to any of them, no intention of engaging in any way whatsoever. But there's just something about it where you see someone doing something and you think, fair play to you, good on you, have a look at this. This is like a little island in the middle of the pond here. They've got this beautiful pond with these fountains in it. And if you come here super early, which I sometimes do, before anyone gets here, and you see the sun rising over this, it's like a gift. I hate to sound corny, but it's like a gift that's been given to you, where like you're here, you're practically on your own. There's the peace, there's the birds, there's just you and life, and your body kind of soaks it up, and it does something to the brain and the body. What I like to do sometimes is take off my shoes and walk around in the grass with no shoes on, and it just feels great. When I used to do gardening, I used to say that having my hands in the soil, there was just, I hate to sound like a big old hippie, but there is some connective feeling to it, and I just couldn't get enough of it. I mean, one day if my knee gets a bit better, it doesn't, I can hear it knocking when I walk. It sounds like someone slamming a shed door sometimes. But if it did get better, maybe I would try running again, because when I see people doing it, I think, yeah, it looks quite good that, but I don't know, I just like the cadence of walking. I feel like you soak more up and take it in a bit more, you know, your surroundings and whatnot. But I don't know, I suppose it's for the cardio element of it, I should run a bit more. But yeah, if you ever come to Delhi, I really do recommend coming to Nehru Park. It's just a nice place to be. You won't get bothered. It's safe. It's really, really safe. You can walk around here. Numerous times I've left my bag on a bench here on purpose and walked off like a good distance. I can still see the bag, but if someone grabbed it, there's absolutely no way, especially one of these runners, there's no way I'd get it back. I've even left my camera on a bench here before. And no one messes with you, no one touches your stuff. No one. If anything, I have had someone here before stand near my the bench with my bag on it, just pointing at it to say, hey, you forgot this, because they thought I'd wandered off home. So the parks here are something else. They really, really are. There's sort of the perfect combination of a country walk, because they are so vast. And if you want to feel like, some people get a bit scared with the woodland walk or the country walk, but so you've got that, it's like a controlled country walk. I know I'm now just describing parks, but that is what they are in India. They're next level, as the people here often say. They really are fantastic. And they're full of dogs, which obviously is a massive boon. Here's one here having a snooze under a tree. I don't know. Hello, old chap. Hello there. Oh, he's a bit battle scarred. I think he's had a fight for territory. There was one back there that decided he was going to follow me for quite a long distance because he could smell that I've got food in my pocket. I'll come back and give him some food in a minute. And then, yeah, you'll come out into little spaces like this where it's just away from what we just saw there. I mean, there's still tons of runners going around and whatnot else. But if you just want a bit of solitude and a bit of peace, you can just soak it up. You know, it's a good place to be. So if you are, as I've said before countless times, trying to get off the drink, which I still say is the best thing I've ever done in my life. Stopping drinking gave me a life. It's brilliant. Life, I mean, I'll give you an example. Do you remember last week I was saying I'd had a really rough week of it? And I'd had a really, really rough week. Oh, by the way, last week's video, the lighting on that was absolutely appalling, because I've not quite worked out, I'm not Christopher Nolan, I hadn't worked out that having a big bright light behind me, i.e. the window, would cause a misty effect. And I tried my best to remove it, but with my limited skills, I'm afraid the best I came up with wasn't probably the best. But I thought, well, I can't redo it. I'd booked out of the hotel by then, so I just left it and put it up. I hope it wasn't. I never watched these, by the way, so I wouldn't really know how awful it was. But what was I saying? Yeah, stopping drinking has been brilliant. In that, I was saying last week that I'd had a bit of a shocker of a week, that week leading up to it. All through work, all work related. Expectations, deadlines and targets and things like that. And it was getting the better of me. And I was thinking, that's why I needed a break. I just thought I need to book into a hotel and just chill out for a bit. And if anything, this week was worse. There's a particular job at work that nobody wants to do. It's horrible. Like, there's never a volunteer for it. Even the people that volunteer for absolutely everything don't volunteer for this job. And so you just get it put upon you. And I've not had it put upon me, as it were, for best part of a year. So just out of the blue, they were like, oh yeah, you're doing that now. I was like, oh no, I can't do it. I can barely do this. And I'm numerically dyslexic, and there's quite a bit of numbers involved in it. I'm like, I can't. But I never want to be the one who goes and says, oh, don't forget, I'm numerically dyslexic. So, because I feel ashamed of it, really embarrassed by it, so I don't tell them. Well, they kind of know, but I don't want to remind them. So I just felt like, okay, I'll do my best with it. And I had a real, pang of anxiety about this that lasted pretty much well into the evening, where I'm like, the night before, having to go in and do this job, I'm like, oh God. And I know that back in the days when I drank, that would have been a real excuse for me to go to the pub and have a few beers and use it as an excuse to be like, oh well, yeah, screw them, I've got this thing to do, and sit at the bar, all the yakety yak, talking crap with my mates, and just hiding in a booze haze because I don't want to do something or I'm scared. And not having that to hide behind made me approach it in a completely different way, in that the fear was still there, but the ability to, basically what I did is what I tell other people to do: slow it right down, take it really, really slowly, and approach it in bite-sized chunks. And if it goes completely wrong and they fire you, which they're never going to do because it's a mistake, what's the very, very worst that's going to happen as a result of this going wrong? No one's going to shoot you, are they? And I did that, and I just thought, no, you can do this, just take it slowly. And I started doing these breathing exercises at my desk, where I breathe out, all the air out, and then just basically hold my breath for, I try to do it for a minute or 90 seconds, which I've never done. I hold my breath for a minute, and then inhale as hard as I can, take the air in. And it does seem to help. Or box breathing is the other one I was doing. But I quite like this one because it gives you a bit of a rush when you get that air hitting you. But so I started doing that, more breathing exercises, and just really mentally and not physically as such, but taking charge of it and thinking, no, you're not beating me. This isn't designed to beat you anyway. It might be designed to test you, but it's not designed to beat you. And I just pushed it away, like I've said to do with anxiety before. I literally pushed it away in my mind, like, go away. You are not helping. This sensation of jingle jangle brain and my heart feeling like it's going to appear in my mouth at any minute. What purpose is this serving? Well, the answer is none. No purpose whatsoever. And it's my brain not liking me and just being like, I think I'll have a go at you for a little bit, just for giggles. And I managed to actually not only push it away and feel that I could do it, because I was doing it so slowly, which I told the management I was going to do, and they were fine with that. They were like, look, we just want it done. And I think because I've been honest about it and said, I am going to do it, but I'm going to do it slow, and please help me out here because there'll be mistakes, they were actually not the monsters that I'd created in my mind. And they were like, yeah, no worries, Dan, yeah, if there's any problems, come and let us know. And the manager they gave me was brilliant, and he was like, yep, each step of it you do, send it to me, we'll have a look together. And guess what? It was all fine, as always. It always ends up absolutely fine. And as always, you come away thinking, this isn't the task, this isn't the people who I've attributed monster status to, it's me. And with booze in my system, I wouldn't have been able to do that. It would have been, no, I can't do this and I'm an idiot, and everyone hates me, and I think I'll have a pint after work, that'll make it better. And it's just that monster within you. That's the only monster, actually. The managers aren't the monster, the task isn't the monster. The monster is you, and it's within you, telling you, I need feeding. I'm a monster, I live in you, and I want feeding, and that feeding is booze. And it will find any way to get fed. I'm really happy, give me some booze. I'm really sad, give me some booze. That person hates you, let's have some booze and think about it. Get rid of it. And so treating it like I've treated that task, slowly, bite-sized chunks, and just mentally pushing it away and take some ownership on it. Do yourself the best favour you've ever done. Honestly, like, there's a great big martial arts class going on here, look. Wow. I'm going to pretend I know what I'm talking about here and say, oh yeah, they're doing Taekwondo. It's only because he's got it written on the back of his jumper. Isn't that amazing? It's like that scene in what's that Bruce Lee film? Is it Enter the Dragon? Where he lands in that helicopter and there's a whole class of like students. Is that the right word? Yeah, students doing their warm-up, kata. It's incredible, isn't it? That's what I mean about this park. There's always something going on and it's always something good. There's always, I've never seen like, a gang of Herberts knocking around bothering people or anything like that. There's always, I've seen art classes happening here, just a circle of people with easels. They were really sweet actually. They asked if I wanted to come and join in. I said no. But yeah, there's always something nice. And I think that's essential for your mental healing, if you're trying to get off the booze or if you're just trying to have a bit of a more settled mental well-being state, is to put yourself, you might not be able to change a situation, just like with that thing at work. I couldn't change that situation, it was put on me. But I can change me, and I can change my approach, and to an extent, I can change my environment. And I know they do that with, the French do that, I think, with when they treat children. Or no, learning difficulties, children with learning difficulties. They say we don't treat the child, we treat the environment, something like that. But it does help. So you think, right, what can I do environmentally to change it, to make this a bit more bearable for me? And so if you're trying to make some self-improvements, before you look at yourself, just balancing on that, before you look at yourself, look at your environment. I think, is this the right place for me to do this? For example, gyms. They're not always the right place for people. If they're not, gyms are like partners. It takes, you've got to go through a few before you find the right one. Like driving instructors. And not all gyms are the same, not all gyms are equal. The one I go to here is lovely. The one just up the road, where I work, not so much, even though the equipment's better, the lighting's better, everything's better, except the vibe. It's not very nice. Where I go, it's welcoming, it's sweet, it's encouraging. So look at your environment. Look at the environments you're putting yourself in as well, not just the ones that are fostered upon you, but the ones you choose. And if you're being honest with yourself, is this the most healthy environment, the most helpful environment? You can do it, you can. I did it. I'm as thick as mince. And I managed to improve my life, and I managed to get on a track where I feel happy and feel settled. Obviously I have moments where I want to throw things across the room. I'm a human being. But by and large, this is the happiest I've ever felt in my life. And the most settled, mentally settled, which I think is more important than happiness. I just feel, yeah, I can walk through this, I can do this. And you can do this. But it's about taking ownership of it, I think. And I think it's about, as I've said about 4 times now, environmental settlement or environmental changes. Now, what can I do? What can I do? What do I need to change? I don't know you. But you can do it. You will do it. There's a rope bridge coming up here. We can pretend to be Indiana Jones. But I think I've said just about enough, really, haven't I? We've covered it all. We've covered drinking. We've covered mental health. We've covered Roger Moore. What more do you want from me? So I'll just show you this rope bridge, though, before we call it quits. It's quite good. Look at this. Do, 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 do. I wonder if it's all wobbly. No, it's actually quite a sturdy bridge. Oh no, it's got a bit of a wobble to it. That's what you want, isn't it, from a rope bridge? A slight sense of peril. That's a pretty good bit of engineering, that. It's all done on steel cables on pulleys. So they're taking the tension off of that. And it's steel cables, not rope, so you know no one's going to come along and cut the ropes like they would do with poor old Indiana. Well, we're in India now, so it'll be Hindiana Jones. That's offensive. But we'll wrap it up now. We're coming to the end of my walk. I've got to walk home from here. It takes about an hour. So I think that's about enough jibber jabber from me. As always, it's been a pleasure walking with you. Thank you for joining me. We'll do another one next week. I'm not going to bother saying where we'll be because I never go where I say we're going to be anyway. But I did a little while ago go to a place that had a load of their ancient underground shops, and I'd like to show them to you. It's in this really old, I think it's a temple, and there's like a tunnel, and it's got these underground shops in there, and I found them really interesting, but I didn't have the camera with me, so I was like, oh, I'll have to bring it back to show you. So maybe we'll go there, but it's a bit of a way out, so we'll have a look. But otherwise, I hope you have a good week. I hope you face any challenges that have come your way with the courage that I know you've got. You'll get through things. We'll do it. We'll get there. Until next week, thank you so much for joining me. As always, a pleasure. Just put my camera case. Until then, thank you and walk tall.